Hi guys, my name is Trinity, and if you're here to see my updated library tour. Now, if you guys don't know, I upload a new library tour every 6 months because I use the buy sell trade quite often, and because of that, my shelves change a lot. And I don't keep books that I don't really like. I hold on to the ones that I have loved or have yet to read. And they change. They change often. So enjoy this video and enjoy the whininess of my dog, because every time I record a library tour, my dog decides he has to be there and he has to whine through the whole thing.
Okay, so this is definitely new. I have a new shelf. And as you can see on top, I have my Name of the Wind, Dune, and the Pariah, and some little Russian nesting dolls over there. Those are kind of my pride shelf books. I take pride in those books. And since this is a new shelf, you're going to see a lot of things have changed. Most of these books are books that I thought had really pretty spines because this is in my living room. So I have a lot of my historical fiction in here. The Golem and the Genie, I read that recently and really enjoyed it. I have some paperbacks that you guys have seen before. Burial Rites is still one of my favorite historical fictions. My Nora Roberts is in here. Bear and the Nightingale is in here. I have moved my Harry Potter in here. And Spinning Silver, I recently read that and loved it. There are some of my classics. There are my collectibles there. My Guy Gabriel Kay. Robert McCammon, Lancelot, Cersei of Honey and Wildfires, and my kids' books. So that is the living room shelf. All right, now one that you are used to seeing, my Laurel K. Hamilton is still here. My dog still makes a lot of noise when I try to record these videos. I have moved all of my Kelly Armstrong, Charlene Harris into here, and I still have my Jim Butcher in here. There is my Kim Harrison and my House of Night, so that hasn't changed. That shelf hasn't changed at all, except I finally put my Kim Harrison in order. Okay, what has changed here is going to be quite obvious. I have moved all of my Owlcrate books into here. So because they're pretty, I wanted them to kind of be on display, so there they are. And you'll see that there are some gaps in my collection because I'm making room for new books, and I did a huge unhaul, which will be very obvious what I got rid of when we go through the rest of this video. All right, down here at the bottom, that hasn't changed much, except I moved my Anne Bishop in here. There is the Sanatorium, which I absolutely adored. 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I really adored. Looking forward to reading We Begin at the End. I've heard very good things about that. My little collection over here hasn't changed. All right, we are in my library now, and as you can see, the boxes are gone. Finally, they are gone. So I have some books here for an upcoming video. I won't spoil what that video is just quite yet, but yes, my little table is still a little messy. So getting Owlcrate, I get a little bit of, fun things to go on the shelves, And we have a little Lord of the Rings thing right there. Now, this is going to be my sci-fi. I have, most of these are the same, except I have the second book of First Sister, so the second Rebel. Nofek has joined my shelves, and Azura Ghost. I do have the second book, To Axiom's End, which is Truth of the Divine, so that will be going there. More of my sci-fi with Velocity Weapon and the Protectorate. I love that series. I did buy Leviathan Wakes, so I will be reading that. So this next shelf hasn't changed much from when the last time you guys saw it, except I'm trying to put all of my sci-fi on one shelf. So to the left is the sci-fi, and then I still have my Kate Elliott and stuff on this shelf. Now below, I'm trying to put all of my book of the month books here. However, I do have some spillover from sci-fi, and I'm going to try and get them back up into the sci-fi stuff whenever I find room or whenever I unhaul. Here's another of the Lord of the Rings little fun things that we got from Owlcrate. Back to my favorites shelf. Nothing has changed up here. There's still Nathan Drake. The first shelf you will see, I have a new favorite who has joined the party, and that is Zach Argyle's Threadlight series. So I am happy to add that to my favorite shelf. And Anthony Ryan, Brent Weeks, that never changes. So down here, there's been a little bit of a change. Joe Abercrombie's still there, but Empire of the Vampire has joined the party. I have the second book of Brian Lee Durfee's The Five Warrior Angels. And down here has changed a little bit as well. I did end up getting rid of one of my Dan Simmons books, but I added All the Murmuring Bones, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The Troop, one of the best horror I have read. So yeah, I am still happy with this shelf. I do wish it was bigger because this is kind of where my horror stands out, but you know. Okay, this is still kind of my YA shelf with my self-pub on top. Now, I did get The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse for Christmas, and I'm planning on reading that with my son. Also got that candle for Christmas. And you can see here I have my Owlcrate Apothecary. This is where I draw names or titles out of the container and pick a book. That is a calligraphy set from Owlcrate. Okay, so what has changed is these are probably going to be either my favorite YA or YA I have not read yet. So, All of the Stars and Teeth, I love. The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, I love. Strange the Dreamer, I love. Susan Dennard's The Witchlands, I love. House of Salt and Sorrow, Small Favors, love. Horrid, love. These Violent Delights, love. Merciful Crow, I have not read yet. Furyborn, I have not read that series yet. Queen of the Tearling, I have not read that series yet, and I am missing the second book. As you can see, Steelheart is missing. That is because I am reading it. Lunar, I love. Most of these are going to be ones that I have not read yet. Now, The Cruel Prince I have read, and I really enjoy that series. But the rest of them I have not. Alright, and let's give you a sneaky peeky into my next video that I'm going to be doing, which will be a haul. So, not long ago, I did a what's on my TBR cart. And then I changed my TBR cart. So, the books on top are books that I'm going to prioritize. But as you can see, the TBR cart has changed. and I am just gearing up for what I really anticipate reading. Oh, there's Steelheart. I am listening to it, so I did think that I had pulled it because I'm listening to it, but it's right there. All right, we have Payback as a Witch, the Ember Blade, and this is 9th Reign, I believe. Yes. I'm still holding on to the Archive of the Forgotten. Graveyard book will be coming up soon. There's more Simon R. Green there. Newly acquired Mr. Shivers and the Grace of Kings I do plan to start soon. And what you can't see back there is the Shadow of What Was Lost. Pop figures are still up here. And here we have John Gwynne and David Dalglish. Now, I put these books together because they match in size. And then we have Matthew Ward's Legacy of Light, which is the 3rd book of that series, but as you guys know, I own the 1st and the 3rd and not the 2nd one. Now, here's a big change. I got rid of all of my Sanderson. I did that because so many people love Sanderson, and I don't love Sanderson. I love Mistborn. So I kept Mistborn and then got rid of the rest. There is Sarah Beth Durst, Among Thieves by M.J. Kuhn, I absolutely love. Gelsey Martin, Brian Naslund, I still need to read those. Now this looks a little weird because some of these books are on my TBR cart, or I have pulled them to read them soon. But Ashes of the Sun, I plan to read as soon as I possibly can. There is my wonky Scott Lynch collection. I have Mad Ship, you just saw on my TBR cart, and my Tales of the Atori books are over here because I found the 2nd and 4th books, so now they have a place of distinction. This is still fairly random, but it is still my fantasy that I need to read. All right, and this is where you're going to see the biggest changes have occurred because I got rid of a lot of my classic fantasy because I didn't think I was going to read it. The more I held on to it, the more I fought myself on reading it. So, here we go. As you can see, The Good Kind has left the building, and so has Brooks. But these are still some of my classic fantasy that I do want to read. And Jennifer Fallon is over here. Have some David Dalglish. More David Dalglish. And Preston and Child, my E.E. Night Dragon series, which I do want to read soon. Emperor's Blades, I want to read soon. The Vagrant, that series might skedaddle. I loved the 1st book. I wasn't a huge fan of the 2nd book, and I haven't been eager to pick up the 3rd. I have started Theft of Swords, you can see that. So I read the 1st book in that bind up, but I haven't continued yet. I still have all of my PC cast here, so it hasn't changed much. Lullaby is in my TBR cart, so that's why there's 1 and 3 there. This, again, hasn't changed, mainly because it's where I keep these books. Like, it doesn't change. However, these 2 shelves have changed quite a bit, so just bringing you over here to show them off. There is my beautiful set of the Graceling books. Now, I did get rid of quite a bit of young adult, so that is why the huge shift in my YA books. Now, I did recently read And I Darken, and I did buy the whole trilogy because everyone said that I was going to love it, and I thought And I Darken was just okay. Wasn't anything great about it.
All right, guys, that's the end of my library tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it, had fun. Could you tell a difference in how my shelves have changed? Of course you could. I got a new shelf. I got one in my living room now. So, all right, like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.